Welcome to the January Foreclosure Report. We will look at mortgage delinquencies, which are the precursor to foreclosure notices, and then ultimately foreclosures. We'll do some national, but our main focus will be on Maricopa County, Arizona, the greater Phoenix metro area. Why do this monthly? Well, I'm not doing it because I think there is going to be a wave of foreclosures. I'm doing it because in order for the housing market to crash, this is where it begins. If we aren't seeing a lot of delinquencies, then we won't see a lot of foreclosure notices. We call them trustee sales here. And if we don't have a lot of notices of trustee sales, well, there won't be a lot of foreclosures. In order for the housing market to crash, there needs to be forced sales. And foreclosures, along with short sales, are just that. So let's take a closer look. First up is mortgage delinquencies. Delinquencies means it's delinquent and the mortgage hasn't been paid. Everything I'm about to show you comes from the CoreLogic Loan Performance Insights Report from January 4th, 2024. As you can see, the delinquency rate from October 2022 to October 2023 is unchanged. 2.8% is healthy and at a historic low. Here is a quote from the report. U.S. mortgage delinquency rates remained healthy in October, with the overall delinquency rate unchanged from a year earlier and the serious delinquency rate remaining at a historic low. Most of the decline in the serious delinquency rate stems from a decrease in later stage delinquencies. Importantly, there was no increase in the foreclosure rate, indicating that borrowers in later stages of delinquencies are finding alternatives to defaulting on their home loans. This next chart shows the total of 2.8% of mortgages are 30 days or more past due, then breaks it out. 30 to 59 days past due went from 1.3 to 1.4%. 60 to 89 days past due stayed at 0.4. 90 to 119 days past due stayed at 0.2%. 120 plus days past due dropped from 1% to 0.7%, and in foreclosure is 0.3%. The nation's serious delinquency rate remained at 0.9%, while the 0.3% foreclosure rate has not moved since the spring of 2022. This chart shows the overall delinquency by state. In October 2023, 9 states posted small year-over-year increases in overall delinquency rates, while 15 states were unchanged. The states with the largest annual declines were Alaska and West Virginia. If you want, you can pause this to see where your state's at. This next chart is serious delinquencies for all the metropolitan areas. Serious delinquency is defined as 90 days or more past due, including loans in foreclosure. There were 3 metropolitan areas where the serious delinquency rate increased. There were 28 metropolitan areas where the serious delinquency rate stayed the same. And there were 353 metropolitan areas where the serious delinquency rate decreased. As you can see, Maricopa County is in the green and doing well as far as delinquencies go. So let's transition to the next stage, which is notices of trustee sale. Here are your notices of trustee sales by month for Maricopa County, starting in 2008. And as you can see, here's our high point, March of 2009, with 10,558 notices. And we'll take a look at what has happened over the last few years here. Here's the pandemic. And then here we are with our last month of December with 265 trustee sale notices in December of 2023. A notice of trustee sale is usually filed after 90 days of non-payment of the mortgage. So it has to be delinquent for 90 plus days. That notice is for another 90 days or more that the trustee intends on foreclosing on the property. So at minimum, it takes 6 months before a property will be foreclosed upon in Maricopa County. During that trustee sale notice time, the homeowner can try and sell the property, work out a loan modification, or make up the missed payments and penalties and bring it out of arrears. If all venues have been exhausted for the homeowner to reinstate their loan, then the foreclosure will take place. It's a set date, and either of two things will happen. Either the property will be sold to a third party, or it reverts back to the beneficiary and could become an REO, also known as a bank foreclosure. A foreclosure here is called a trustee sale and deed. So there we're going to track the trustee deeds by month. And this is again for Maricopa County. And here it is from the beginning of 2002. And we can see the height of everything was in March of 2010. And that's sold to third party and reverted to beneficiary. And now we'll look at today. Because there were so little, we're going to zoom in here. But here is a look at 2023. You can see there was barely any, but we'll look at this last month of November. December's have not been tabulated completely yet. But in November of 2023, we had 19 sold to a third party and 14 reverted to the beneficiary. Now let's take a look and see how many bank foreclosures or REOs are listed active in the MLS. All right, so we have active checked, and then HUD owned or lender REO owned REOs in Maricopa County, and HUD is FHA loans. There's a total of 19, and here they are. And here's how many sold in 2023. There are 81, and here's those. For reference, this was the most trustee sale notices by month. That was March 2009 with 10,558. It took about a year for those to make the trustee deeds or foreclosure spike to 4,250 reverting to the beneficiary in March of 2010, and then 1,115 sold to a third party. We can see how that impacted the annual median sales price. In 2009, it was 125,000. A year later, 123.2, and then took a dip down to 110,000 where it bottomed out. And in 2010, we had, here's the close of escrow, closed, the year of 2010, we had 32,849 bank-owned or foreclosure REOs sold. In 2011, we sold 37,273. In the months to come, we'll take a look at those mortgage delinquency rates and see if those start climbing. And when they start to climb, that'll be our indicator that there could be some foreclosures coming on. And when there's a lot of foreclosures and there's a lot of delinquencies and a lot of trustee sale notices, that's when prices start to come down because there are forced sales. That's your foreclosure report for January. We'll take a look again next month. If you have any questions about the Phoenix real estate market, you can drop those in the comments.